Three adorable Pokemon, one unforgettable choice. When Professor Oak first gave gamers the option of Bulbasaur, Charmander, or Squirtle, no one could have suspected the massive gaming juggernaut that would begin in that simple Pallet Town lab. But forget about changing the face of gaming and all that. What we want to know is, was our choice the best? Which of the three Gen 1 starters reigns supreme? After researching and running some polls, Bulbasaur was in a distant third, making today's debate between two, Squirtle and Charmander, a song of ice and fire. Well, not really ice, it's more water and fire, but I'm really excited about the new season of Game of Thrones, guys, okay? Today, we're looking at everything from stats to strategy to just plain old cool factor to determine which Mon is number one. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, welcome to Deadlock.
I wanna be the very best.
Let's finish this quickly. I can't stop thinking about my battle with Gary. Well, look who decided to show up today. It's Mr. Blame Me for not letting him swear during his episodes. Sorry I'm holding you to a higher standard, Austin. I just figured a guy as smart as you could write a wittier punchline than dropping F-bombs, but I don't know. Maybe I was wrong. You have free reign to do what you want. I will totally look the other way. That said, though, YouTube's ad services might not be so kind.
Look, if you were constantly discovering how your favorite video game franchises are predicated on mind-blowingly terrifying premises, you'd drop a few salty slurs too.
Sorry, sir. Who's the person who originated that format? Just saying. Do you not even watch Game Theory? That's what I do literally every week. Anyway, enough about our petty little squabble. Let's get this battle over with so you have another excuse to complain.
What was the single greatest discovery in all the history of humanity? Relativity? The transistor? The steam engine? No! It was the ability to control fire. Over 600,000 years ago, before even the existence of Homo sapiens, hominins first learned to control fire. With that came science, art, chemistry, cooked food, light at night, and heat in winter. Humanity has utterly dominated the entire world for good or ill for thousands of years, and it all started with fire. A little bit of oxygen, some fuel, and heat, and boom! You can literally change the course of the entire planet.
Are you serious right now? What is this? A video game debate or a hipster poetry slam? In the beginning.
I don't wear these glasses for no reason, and I'm just getting started. The Greeks knew how important fire was, not even thinking that humans themselves were smart enough to come up with the idea, and alleged that Prometheus stole fire from the gods themselves. And this is exactly why, objectively and unequivocally, why Charmander is the best of the first three starter Pokemon. Charmander isn't a turtle waiting to be turned into soup whose only talent is creating their own broth, and they're not a dinosaur with a parasite growing out of their back. When you walk around with Charmander in your Pokeball, you're literally walking around with the power of the Greek gods, an embodiment of the most important chemistry discovery in the universe, and most importantly, a way to toast marshmallows anytime, any day, and whenever you want.
If this was a try not to cringe challenge, I would be failing so hard. Your opening argument focuses on ancient Greeks and mythological events that never happened? I know your old channel was named Shoddycast, but I didn't realize your arguments would be so shoddy too. Oh, shots fired! Not shoddy shots. Not that I think that any of what you just said merits any sort of a rebuttal, but just to be thorough, you say fire allows humans to change the planet. Great, good on you. Clap and a half. You know what also allows humans to live on that planet in the first place? Water. In fact, as a scientist yourself, I have a feeling you know what enables Earth as a planet to sustain any life in the first place.
Water.
Sorry, couldn't quite hear ya. What was that?
Water!
Oh, yeah. That's it. That's the one. Good old H2. Oh, yeah! Say it loud and say it proud. Why are the atmospheres of Venus and Mars dominated by CO2 while Earth's isn't? It all comes down to water. In ye olden days, Earth's atmosphere was likely dominated by carbon dioxide, similar to Venus and Mars, but Earth also has vast oceans of liquid water. Carbon dioxide dissolves easily in water, so our oceans absorb much of that atmospheric CO2, and a few steps later, we had ourselves the magical mix to create an atmosphere that allows us to support life. Life that allowed Pokemon the game to get made, Squirtle and Charmander to get developed, and us to have this debate today. So maybe, Austin, maybe you should start moving away from just arguing the primordial elements and instead start talking about, I don't know, the game, maybe. Huh?
Oh boy. You got me, Matt. It's not like water can be found literally everywhere in the freaking solar system, but fine, let's have it your way. Charmander is, by almost every metric you want to go by, the most popular of all the Generation 1 starters. My Twitter followers, 7,000 of the best and brightest people on the planet, overwhelmingly voted for Charmander over Squirtle.
What?
And if that's not good enough for you,
It's not.
a year ago, Nintendo themselves surveyed over 500,000 Pokemon fans and built a master list of the top 100 most popular Pokemon ever. Good thing you didn't choose Bulbasaur, because that thing did not even make it onto the list. Charizard, though, the final evolutionary form of Charmander, placed at a whopping number 6, barely getting beaten out by the series mascot Pikachu, the genetic freak Mew, the god of the frickin' Pokemon universe, and some adorable little pink thing. Where's Blastoise? I can't even find. Oh, there he is, number 86!
Some super adorable pink thing? Please tell me you know that thing's name.
Sylveon! Easily the most adorable of all of Eevee's possible evolutions.
Well, I'm so glad to see that you were able to tear yourself away from Twitter in order to do some actual research on Pokemon for this debate. That being said, no offense to your Twitter fans, but while interviewing actual creators of these games, Junichi Masuda, producer of Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, and Shigeru Omori, planning director of those remakes, neither one selected Charmander as their starter. Masuda went with Bulbasaur and Omori chose Squirtle. Huh. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, unless that missing third is the character you're looking to defend. Oh, you know who else chose Squirtle? Speedrunners. The people who truly are the best, like no one ever was. Players whose literal job it is to beat the game as efficiently as possible. Squirtle has a powerful moveset to begin with, and with the addition of TMs like Dig and Mega Punch, Squirtle really has no real weaknesses until the Elite Four. Squirtle is also the only starter Pokemon that can learn Surf, which you need to complete the game, and you'll appreciate this one. Even science is on my side, Austin. This article, published by Scientific American, ran the numbers and concluded that Squirtle was indeed the best choice. You're not gonna go against science, are you, Austin? I mean, it is the name of your show after all.
I love myself a good speedrun, Matt, but as awesome as those guys are, they're not the average gamer. Heck, they're not even the best gamers. They're about efficiency of movement and muscle memory. I'd say that's not how the average person's gonna be playing Pokemon. Charmander starts out slightly weaker than Squirtle by pure stat points, I'll give you that, which easily puts you at a disadvantage for the first 2 gym battles. But this only proves that it's the starter of the most skilled trainers who can overcome adversity for a huge payoff, where Charizard has a huge stat advantage over Blastoise, both in overall total, but especially in the key stat that they both utilize most, special attack. This is the stat that dictates how powerful things like fire and water type moves are.
Which would be all well and good if Charmander and Charizard would actually get around to learning some dang fire moves. In Gen 1, Charmander only learns 1 fire move, Ember, up through level 38. 38! And if you decide to evolve him along the way, which obviously you will since everyone's so eager to get their hands on Charizard, I mean, even you, Austin, have abandoned defending Charmander at this point and have already moved on to his level 3 evolution, you're gonna have to wait until level 42 before you get your second fire-type move, Flamethrower. Squirtle, on the other hand, learns water moves at levels 8 and 15. 2 special attack moves before even evolving to Wartortle.
Pick a lane, Matt. You're bringing up HMs and TMs, but now we're gonna throw a badass Pokemon under the bus because it takes a little bit more time to master how to properly melt faces with fire? Yeah, fine, you gotta wait a bit for Flamethrower, but Charizard boasts an impressive list of learnable moves, including one of the strongest in the game, Hyper Beam. Furthermore, Charizard is a dual flying fire type, and as a result, boasts several advantages over the Turtalian counterpart Blastoise, who is a pure water type. Hilariously, even without a shell, Charizard has more resistances, boasting a resistance to 6 different move types over Blastoise's 4, and an immunity to ground type, where Blastoise is immune to nothing! Glad to see that shell is really getting its mileage. Also, Charizard can learn 3 hidden machines, some of the most important skills in the game: Fly, Cut, and Strength. Blastoise only gets 2. Aw, how cute. At least you tried to be useful. I'll think of you getting around like a crappy boat while I'm flying in the sky on my literal dragon.
Except not. First off, Charizard isn't even a dragon type, so sorry there. Secondly, good luck finding the time to fly around on your dragon because you'll be too busy chip damaging your way through Mount Moon, embering your way through endless waves of Geodudes. Remember how I said speedrunners choose Squirtle? Well, it's in part because he rips through the most obnoxious parts of these games. The caves that are just filled with ground types. Endless slogs where your Charmander is relegated to the back of the party.
All that proves is that any trainer with the guts to pick Charmander is gonna make it to the end of the game stronger than someone who just coasted their way through because they picked easy mode. Charmander forces you to get good and teaches you the patience that you really need to become a true Pokemon master. Plus, petty though it is, Charmander gets an entry in the Pokedex before Squirtle. It's like the game itself knew all along that Charmander is more important and wanted to give them the prominence that they deserve over raw turtle soup.
Really? Well, first off, you've already used that joke, the turtle soup joke. It wasn't funny the first time, it's even less funny the second time you use it. Secondly, I'm starting to see why you swear so much. You're using Pokedex entry numbers as a main point in your arguments?
Your ad hominem is not going to distract me, Matt. And let's just keep this petty ball rolling. I owned Pokemon Red growing up, for which Charizard was the mascot. And Charizard made a comeback as the mascot of Fire Red, a remaster of the original Pokemon Red. And wait, where's Water Blue? That's right, there isn't one! They decided to make the Japan-exclusive Pokemon Green instead. Ha! Not even Nintendo wants you!
Fair loss then, considering that according to this chart, Pokemon Blue sold more copies in the US than Pokemon Red. 5.02 million to 4.83 million.
No! That's a great statistic, Matt. I love it. Too bad it comes from a chart with literally no credibility whatsoever that doesn't even list a source for any of its numbers. Hey, oh, look. I just found this chart here in my pocket that says nobody bought Pokemon Blue and concludes that Austin Horrigan is the sexiest YouTuber in Illinois. Not really a lot of competition, but whatever.
I mean, it's not the best source of data out there, but it is all the info I was able to find online. But now it is time to extinguish your flame once and for all. The big, huge, game-ending elephant in the room. 3 words. Water beats fire. That's it.
As I said before, Charizard, while slow in the beginning, is a friggin' beast in late game, and he can learn Hyper Beam. With a higher special attack, the stat used to determine the damage output of this move, he can hold his own in a fight against Blastoise. Charizard has a higher speed, which means a significantly higher crit percent, and a higher special attack, higher than Blastoise's special defense. Hyper Beam has a higher chance to hit, also 90% accuracy versus your Blastoise's Hydro Pump, the only move in Blastoise's entire repertoire even remotely capable of giving Charizard pause.
It's a lot of ifs. A lot of ifs. All right then, smart guy. You're so good at computer modeling. Run the numbers for who wins, Charizard or Blastoise. 100 matches, go.
Running the numbers, you find out that 75% of Blastoise's defeat happened in round 3. Charizard gets to move first. So, great. But in 100 battles, over 80% of Charizards are defeated by Blastoise at the beginning of round 3, so...
I rest my case. Again, I'm gonna walk dramatically out of frame.
Fine! So what? Water beats fire, and grass beats water, paper beats rock, and the entire game is a series of checks and balances. Almost as though no Pokemon were objectively perfect for every situation. But that doesn't erase the fact that Charizard has higher stats across the board, and as a little bonus, my baby has a tiny Whittle Charmander toy. And my baby's adorable, Matt. Adorable! Are you saying that babies aren't adorable and therefore right all the time?
I don't know, I'd say a half turtle, half machine with giant water cannons coming out of its shell is pretty goddamn awesome. Apologize for the swearing, but I wanted to steal a phrase out of Austin's book for emphasis and dramatic effect. How'd I do?
I'd totally do that better.
And I won the debate, so we're even. Ladies and gentlemen of the internet, we have reached deadlock. Now the decision is in your hands. Which Gen 1 starter is the best? Are you hot for Charmander, or did Squirtle put Austin on ice? And hey, let's throw in Bulbasaur there too. We just didn't have 3 people to debate with us, and Bulbasaur was clearly 3rd place in all the polls that we saw. So anyway, since there are no more annotations, click the eye icon in the upper right-hand corner of the screen to cast your vote. Or tell us what you think in the comments below. Don't let your childhood down. Which Gen 1 starter reigns supreme?